The Empire's command ship Velcaron floated above the edge of the Sol system. Its black hole shimmered with ancient alien technology, and the stars around it seemed to dim as it waited. Watching Earth Captain Drex, Zar, a tall reptilian officer of the Zenthari species, stood inside the bridge. His yellow eyes stared at the blue planet on the screen. "So that's Earth," he said, almost in a whisper. "The human's home. Looks peaceful," said First Officer Lurak, checking sensor readings. "Too quiet. Pieces off in a trap." Drex replied coldly. "We've crushed more advanced worlds than this." But Earth was different. Humans weren't part of the Empire. They refused all offers of alliance. They never begged, never ran. They simply sent one message whenever anyone came close to their planet. Stay away from Earth. No threats. No weapons shown. Just a simple sentence. Cold. Direct. A warning. That message had become a joke in many parts of the Empire. Stay away from Earth. Or what? Drex laughed. They think we fear them. Still, rumors floated across the galaxy, stories of powerful human ships, strange disappearances, and entire fleets that never returned after entering human space. No one had real proof. So, now, the Empire wanted answers. Captain Drex had been ordered to scan Earth, record its defenses, and return. "Just observe," the Grand Council had said. "Do not engage." Rex had other plans. "We will send a probe," he said to Lurik. "Deep scan the planet. See what they hide." The small probe launched from Velcaron, gliding silently toward Earth. As it entered orbit, it started scanning cities, satellites, military bases. Everything seemed normal, until it reached the ocean. Suddenly the screen glitched. Static filled the sensors. Then the probe vanished. No explosion. Ow, no impact. Just gone. "Signal lost," said Lurak, confused. It disappeared near the Pacific Ocean. Drex frowned. "Replay the last image." The screen flashed. A massive shadow beneath the waves. Something artificial. Huge. Drex narrowed his eyes. "What is that?" Before Lorek could respond, an alert blared across the bridge. Incoming transmission from Earth. The crew froze. A human face appeared on the screen. It was an older woman, dressed in black military uniform. Her voice was calm, but sharp like a blade. "This is Admiral Reyes of Earth Defense Command." Drex stepped forward. "You dare be silent," she cut him off. "You've crossed the line. We told you once. This is your second and final warning. Stay away from Earth." Drex growled. "You threatening the Empire?" "No." Reyes replied, "We don't make threats. We make promises." The screen went black. The bridge was silent for a moment. Then the sensors screamed. Multiple energy signatures, massive rising from Earth's oceans. 1, 2, 10. 50 hundreds. Voice shook. "Ships. Captain, those are ships." Drex turned pale. Earth had a fleet, a huge one, and they were hidden, not in space, not on land, but buried beneath the ocean. Sleek black dreadnoughts broke through the waves, water cascading off their hulls. Their surfaces pulsed with energy. No Empire records matched their design. No known tech explained how they stayed. Hidden Drex could feel it in his bones. This was not a primitive world. This was a trap, and they had walked right into it, Captain. Cleric whispered, "What do we do?" Before Drex could answer, a direct beam locked onto their ship. A single message flashed on screen. "Leave." Now, Drex's mouth went dry. His pride screamed to stay. To fight. To prove the Empire's power. But his instincts told him something different. These humans, they were not bluffing. "Prepare jump drive," he ordered quietly. "We're leaving, but now." The Velcaron turned away from Earth. As the ship jumped into hyperspace, Drex looked back one last time. Below him, Earth's oceans shimmered again, and hundreds of warships vanished beneath the waves once more, as if they were never there. Back in Empire space, the Grand Council gathered. Drex stood before them, pale and shaken. "They have ships," he said. "More than we can count. Hidden, advanced, silent." Counselor Vaughn scoffed. "You fled from primitives?" "They are not primitives," Drex snapped. "They're hiding something, something ancient, powerful." He paused. "And they warned us." The chamber fell silent. The same message played again on the screen, sent directly from Earth. "Stay away from Earth." This time no one laughed. The council chamber of the Galactic Empire was a place of grand design and stern faces. On its walls, banners of conquered species claimed past glories. But today, silence ruled. Counselor Varn, a slim reptilian with dark emerald skin, stared at the holofield showing Earth's system. His voice trembled. They had dreadnoughts buried beneath their oceans? How did we not know this? "You dismissed their warning," Council Leader Highfather Zerklang replied stiffly. "They said hands off. We ignored them." "Let's make sure that doesn't happen again," Varn's voice was low.
That warning
Was the one they issued before the first ships vanished. They made clear stay away, and we didn't. Then he paused and leaned forward. We send a probe fleet, he said softly. If Earth is bluffing, we act. If they are serious, we send scouts we can control. The Emperor leaned forward. Prepare it. Call it a scientific mission, and keep it quick. Back on the outskirts of Earth's system, the probe fleet droned through the darkness. It's a dozen scout ships, elegant and lethal. It's none expected to return. Commander Talrun, an older officer who had never hesitated in battle, now stood uneasy on the bridge of ISS Champion. His crew was silent with uncertainty. They weren't attacking, or only observing. Rune crossed his arms, aligned sensors, scanned the planet. The probe fleet inched closer to Earth. Initial scans showed only oceans, clouds, cities, nothing unusual. Then the second wave of sensors kicked in magnetic anomaly detectors, deep spectrum sonar, gravitational wave scanners. That's when the readings popped. Colonies of ships suspended. Beneath the waves, silent, massive, invisible to anyone. Scanning from space, our UN blinked. Sir, you need to see this. He displayed the sensor data. Shadows beneath the water's misshapen silhouettes of dreadnoughts. Outline of massive warships. Beneath Earth's surface, the crew shook. None said a word. Moments later, a chilling message flooded every ship. Not from a projection, not from a voice, just these 3 words. We told you. In the silence that followed, every scanner glowed red. Energy signatures flared as if awakened by alarm. The probes weren't alone in that ocean. They had awakened the sentinels. Without warning, one massive ship burst into action, blasted upward through miles of salt water, sending a tsunami across oceans. Ice cracked. Coastal cities trembled. Another followed. Then another, in less than 10 seconds. The ocean boiled with human dreadnoughts emerging into orbit. The probe fleet went mad with alarms. Ships lost power. Connectors burned. Crew screamed. Commander Rune watched the fleet go dark one by one. He stared at the rising dreadnoughts above him in disbelief. Then he uttered a single word. We've made a grave mistake. In the council chambers, communications burst alive. Report. Varn slammed his fist onto the desk. Probes have vanished. They are gone. Cut off in a heartbeat. Flags of fear appeared on holomaps across the chamber. Snapping snapped back. So Earth's bluff was truth. They hid dreadnoughts for decades. Dozens of them. Counselor Zarl of the Falthry Dominion hissed. They could destroy us all. In minutes. Thousands of ships in orbit. No one suspected a thing. Even the Emperor's guards were pale. Back near Earth. The dreadnoughts lined up in formation. Still. Silent. One by one, they activated shields. They formed gates of black steel. Flashes from space around them revealed they were already deployed. The war had begun, inside Earth Defense Command. Admiral Reyes watched from his command chair while the seafloor battle fleet descended into orbit. He didn't smile, didn't cheer. He only said they came as expected. The Empire's council chamber swirled with chaos. Holodisplays showed the doomed probe ships, flickering out one by one. Where there should have been calm triumph, there was only panic. Council leader Zur pleaded, prepare a response fleet. Arm the dreadnoughts. Alert all sectors Earth. Just declared a war we did not see coming. Counselor Varn pleaded back. We underestimated them. We saw water, not weapons. This ... this is madness. The debate raged. Many laughed that Earth wasn't technologically advanced. Now, half the probes were gone. The data was gone. Communication was gone. The Empire faced the impossible. Meanwhile, deep in Earth's command vault under the Indian Ocean, Admiral Reyes observed humankind's secret. War rooms glowed with activity not of victory, but of restraint. A lieutenant asked, Sir, probes are gone. Should we strike next? Reyes shook his head. No, let them come close. We'll let them see Earth is not defenseless, and not dangerous unless forced. Silently, human dreadnoughts slipped out of orbit, not to attack. To wait in the Empire's fleet above Mars, Commander Terra watched radar feed with disbelief. Dozens of human dreadnoughts were stationed in silence, just outside Imperial jump gates. Her voice shook, didn't fire. They just arrived. Yes, her tech officer replied. And they're waiting. Suddenly an alert. An energy spike across Earth's orbit. Another dreadnought activated. Now there were hundreds. Terra whispered. Why? Why didn't they attack? The fleet remained frozen. On Earth, Admiral Reyes addressed his fleet. No war yet. Let the Empire collapse itself under fear. We hold, and they break. His officers nodded. Dreadnought stayed still. The message of power clear. Cold silence spoke louder than any broadcast could at the Galactic Academy on Ilon Prime. A young cadet watched live feeds. The Empire had underestimated Earth. And now, the galaxy was witnessing the rise of a silent titan. She whispered to her friend, they called Earth weak. Now Earth shows them what silence is worth. Back in the council chamber, the Empire's plan began to unravel. Calls flooded in. Send diplomats. Put Earth on the peace list. Remind them of our rule. But the only voice heard was from deep inside the throne room. We didn't ask for war, but we never begged for peace. That message echoed in every corner of the chamber, and for the first time the Empire understood. Humanity was not weak. Humanity was patient. Humanity waited. The Galactic Empire had ruled for thousands of years. It had crushed rebellions, silenced planets, and erased species that didn't bow. But Earth was something different. They gave the Empire only one order: stay away from Earth. And now, Earth didn't move, didn't send fleets, didn't beg. They simply waited. That silence scared the Empire more than any weapon. Inside the High Council Hall, the Emperor's voice cut through the fear. Send a peace delegation, he ordered. We must understand who they are and what they want. Take no weapons. Show no threat. Just talk. The chamber gasped. No weapons. One counselor asked. They destroyed probes without blinking? The Emperor replied. If we go armed, we return in pieces. So the Empire's best diplomat, Ambassador Kellen Vor, was chosen. He had ended wars with just his words. Made enemies into allies. He was sure he could do the same with Earth. He flew with 5 delegates unarmed. Calm, proud, but as they entered Earth's orbit, even Kellen felt it. Eyes were watching. Not satellites, not drones, but ships. Hundreds, thousands, hidden, cloaked, ready. And yet, they didn't fire. Instead, a single human voice echoed through their coms. Ambassador Vor, you are cleared for landing. Welcome to Earth. Step. Carefully, that last line chilled him. Step carefully. Not be welcome, not we're honored. No smiles. Just warning, they landed in a secure zone near New Geneva's capital, now rebuilt under the mountains. Everything was quiet. The air was fresh. The skies were clear. The silence felt heavy. Admiral Reyes stood waiting on the platform, flanked by 2 soldiers. His expression was calm, but his eyes were sharp like knives. Kellen stepped forward and offered his hand. Ambassador. Kellen Vor, representative of the Galactic Empire. Reyes didn't shake. He simply nodded. You were warned, he said. And yet you came. Kellen smiled, trying to lighten the tension. We come in peace. Reyes looked at the sky. Everyone says that, right before they drop bombs. Inside Earth's diplomatic hall, the meeting began. Kellen tried to speak with charm and confidence. Perhaps there was a misunderstanding. The probes were harmless exploratory. Admiral Reyes leaned forward. Harmless? You scanned our oceans, our forests, our children's hospitals. You sent weapons under the name of science. Kellen hesitated. Those weren't weapons. Reyes opened a file on the screen, images of hidden weapon signatures on the probe ships you thought we wouldn't see. He said coldly. But we did. We saw everything. Kellen tried again. The Empire does not wish for war. Reyes stood and walked toward the window, looking out at the quiet Earth below. We never wanted war either, he said, but you brought it closer. Every year you thought Earth was sleeping? He turned around slowly. But we were only watching. That night, Kellen was given a room under surveillance. Couldn't sleep. From the window, he saw the distant lights of orbiting ships, dreadnoughts. Human ones, quiet, powerful, and something else, 2 dark shapes moving in the night skies. Not drones. It's not ships. Something faster. Something alive. The next day. Kellen was shown something no outsider had seen. Project Echo. They were taken to an underground facility. There, in sealed hangars, were strange war machines. Human-built, but using alien technology, reverse-engineered, silent, precise. One of them moved as Kellen watched. No sound, no heat, no warning, Reyes said. We learned from everyone. The Empire, the rebels, the ruins. We built something new. Something you can't understand yet. Kellen swallowed hard. And how many of these do you have? He asked Reyes. Stared straight into his eyes. Enough. The message was clear. Earth did not bluff. The humans weren't bragging. They weren't threatening. They were prepared. Prepared to be left alone. Prepared to be peaceful. But also prepared to end anything that came too close. When Kellen returned to the Empire, he stood before the High Council. He didn't scream. He didn't argue. He simply said, do not touch Earth. Do not orbit them. Do not scan them. Do not even speak their name in arrogance. They are not part of our Empire, and they never will be. From that day forward, Earth was marked red on every galactic map. Not as an enemy, not as a friend, but as a line never to be crossed. A quiet place, a dangerous place, and above it, always written in glowing red text, Earth, keep your distance. The order was clear. Stay away from Earth. Every species in the galaxy had heard it. It echoed across the stars like thunder after a storm. From the moons of Vassos to the frozen gas belts of Dranik, the message was repeated, replayed, and feared. But someone didn't listen. The Kravix Dominion was proud, stubborn, and ambitious. They controlled 3 star systems and believed humans were bluffing. Their leader, Overlord Krevern, laughed when his advisors warned him. Earth is just one planet, he scoffed. No species can defend a world forever. So the Kravix sent a probe ship, small, quiet, and cloaked, to orbit Earth. Just a scan, they said. Just a peek. No weapons. No contact. What could possibly go wrong? The probe entered the Sol system silently. No signals. No noise. It slipped past Mars, past the ancient wreck of an old human satellite drifting silently, covered in dust and time. Then it reached Earth. Its scanners activated. Infrared, magnetic fields, population centers, power levels. Suddenly, it stopped working. No signal. No return. The probe vanished from Kravix screens like it never existed. On Earth, it's deep beneath the oceans in a secret base built under tectonic plates. The Watcher AI had already responded. The moment the probe's signal reached orbit, Earth's defense grid came alive quietly. Satellites with no names, drones shaped like space debris, and an old orbital weapon platform. Once part of a peacekeeping program blinked red for the first time in years, but none of them fired. They didn't need to. Instead, a dark ship rose from the Mariana Trench, smooth, silent, blacker. Then space, it had no name. It simply flew, straight into orbit. Straight to the Kravix probe. In 1 second, it hacked it. In the next, it melted it. Then it turned and waited back on the Kravix homeworld. Panic set in. Where's our probe? What happened? Who found it? Their questions were answered 2 hours later when a message arrived on their military channels. A human appeared on screen. Calm. Eyes cold. Admiral Leona Hayes. The woman who had once led Earth's defense fleet during the last war. The one who had defeated 3 fleets with just 9 ships. She spoke one sentence. Your probe entered Earth's orbit. That was your one mistake. There will not be a second. No message ended. No threats, no missiles, no war declarations. But every general in the Kravix Dominion felt the chill. Overlord Krevern ordered silence. Don't respond. Don't provoke them, he barked. But it was too late. The humans had already traced the signal of the probe. Had sent it. Which base? Which shipyard? 3 days later, the shipyard didn't exist anymore. No noise, no warning. One moment it was there, the next. It was just dust in space. No one had seen what weapon had done it. No one had tracked the projectile. No one knew the angle it was like the hand of a god had erased it from the stars. The Kravix government denied everything. They claimed it was a meteor strike, a system error. Anything but a human response. But the people knew. The other empires knew. Even the pirates in the Rim. Systems knew. Earth had acted, not with speeches, not with sanctions, with precision, with power, with silence. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Ambassadors from 57 species argued, screamed, debated. Some wanted to challenge Earth, some wanted to sanction them. Others wisely suggested, leave it alone. One ambassador from the Glavari stood and said, if humans say stay away from Earth, we should listen. And so they did. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Admiral Leona stood before a dark screen showing thousands of DOTS ships hidden deep beneath oceans. Ice shelves, mountains, and space dust. Each dot was a dreadnought. Each one had been built in silence. No parades, no media, no glory, because Earth had learned the hard way peace is not given. It's guarded. Down in the command room, a young officer asked nervously, Admiral, what if someone else sends another probe? Leona didn't look away from the screen. She simply replied, then Earth will remind the galaxy again. Turned and walked away. Behind her, one more lit up another dreadnought. Activated, but Earth wasn't looking for war. They never were. They had seen too much of it. The loss, the fire, the broken colonies, the forgotten heroes. That's why they gave only one rule. Stay away from Earth. Not because they were afraid, but because the galaxy wasn't ready to see what still waited on that small blue world. Admiral Vorik stood at the edge of the massive galactic map, his fingers trembling slightly. Every star system near Earth had gone dark. Probes disappeared. Ships stopped reporting. Fleets sent to investigate never returned. The silence wasn't normal, it was deliberate, controlled. It felt like a trap. He turned to the command council. We have underestimated them. Again, no one spoke. No one dared. At that same moment, deep in the Empire's intelligence center, Director Seln watched footage over and over again. A patrol drone had managed to send 5 seconds of data before it was wiped out. In that 5 seconds, the screen showed massive shadows moving through Jupiter's clouds. Gigantic shapes, moving faster than anything known to exist in the galaxy. He leaned back in his chair, pale and afraid. "Those are not ships," he whispered. "They're monsters." Earth had been silent for weeks. No messages. No warnings. But something strange was happening near Sol. The outer moons had been turned into weapon platforms. Long-range sensors from the Xeron Empire detected enormous fusion spikes from under Saturn's rings. Like something big was being activated. Something old the Empire, still arrogant, ordered one last strike. They would send their elite fleet Black Talon, 30 ships, best weapons, best pilots. Their job: break through Earth's line and get to the surface. But the moment the fleet entered the Sol system, everything changed. The stars disappeared. That's what the crew saw first. The stars gone. The sky around them turned dark, as if something massive was blocking light. Then came the whispers. Static on all channels, words that didn't make sense. Old Earth languages mixed with deep growling sounds. It was almost like the fleet had entered another reality. Then the dreadnoughts came. They didn't warp in. They didn't send a signal. It just appeared. Dozens, maybe hundreds. Pitch black holes. No lights, no names, no visible windows. They surrounded Fleet Black Talon in perfect silence. Captain Merrick, of the lead Empire ship, sent a hail. "Identify yourselves." No response. He sent again, with a code used for peace talks. Still silence. Then a single line came across every ship's. "System, you were warned." Suddenly, the dreadnoughts opened fire, not with beams or plasma or standard missiles. They launched energy pulses that bent space around them. One pulse shattered an entire battleship in one hit, another sliced. Through a carrier like paper, the Empire fleet fought back, but nothing worked. Their targeting systems failed. Shields collapsed in seconds. Their best weapons couldn't even scratch the black dreadnought hulls within 7 minutes. 26 ships were gone. The remaining 4 tried to flee. Only one made it out of the Sol system. That ship drifted for 2 weeks before being found. By a trade vessel, the surviving crewman Lieutenant Draquis found locked in a supply room, shaking, unable to speak for days. When he finally talked, he said one thing over and over. "We looked into hell, ... and it looked back." News spread. Fast empires that once laughed at Earth suddenly went quiet. Systems near Sol cut all traffic. Trade routes were moved. The Council of Nine withdrew all their agents from human space and Earth, still said nothing. They didn't gloat, didn't issue threats, didn't ask for surrender. They simply repeated their message: stay away from Earth. Galaxy had always seen humans as fragile, soft creatures warriors, yes, but limited. It was only now, after so many mistakes, that the truth was clear. Humanity had prepared in silence. They had buried their power beneath oceans, under planets inside gas giants. Now that power was awake, and it did not forget. And it would not forgive. The Empire gathered in fear. Their leaders held emergency meetings, debating what to do next. But every plan, every idea, every move ended the same way: destruction. The humans hadn't just built ships, they had built something more, something ancient, something watching. The Empire had fallen quiet. Across its once busy star routes and glowing space stations, an eerie silence spread. Patrol fleets that used to march through the void now hid near moons and gas giants, their lights dimmed, their engines cold. No one dared move too close to Earth's territory, not after what had happened. On the border planet Arzalek, the local commander, General Vernek, stood before a huge holoscreen in the control room. His scales twitched with stress. Behind him, his staff monitored the long-range scans. "Any movement?" he asked without turning. "Nothing," replied his communications officer. "No human ships in this sector for over a week, but their signals are still in the void." Watching, Vernock hated that. The humans never left signs of aggression. Just ... presence. Silent. Watching. Waiting. It made the strongest war generals feel like prey. Earth hadn't said a word since issuing their order. Stay away from Earth. They hadn't fired again. They hadn't invaded. They didn't need to. The dreadnoughts still floated just outside. The Empire's claimed sectors. Their enormous hulls like moving planets. Unscannable, unpredictable, unstoppable, and worst of all, no one knew how many more were hiding. Vernek had seen the reports from the deep relay station. One of the secret facilities hidden on the edge of the Andromedon Rift. It had picked up strange movements. Ships with no registration. Cold, silent. Ghosts flying in perfect formation, refusing all contact. One scout ship had tried to follow them. It never returned. Vernak had read the last transmission. A single line from the pilot, her voice cracking with fear. They're everywhere. Meanwhile, back on Earth, in a hidden command facility buried under the ice fields of Antarctica, Admiral Delane stood before a council of Earth's remaining military leaders. A large 3D map hovered in front of them, showing every Empire ship and station. They're pulling back, Delane said. Exactly as expected. Good, said General Reyes. Let them feel the fear we lived with for years. Delane nodded but remained focused. She remembered when Earth was just another colony world among many told to bow, to follow the rules, to pay tribute. She remembered how the Empire destroyed human outposts for minor infractions. Diplomats smiled while giving orders backed by firepower. Those days were over. What's our next move? Asked another general. We hold position, Delane said calmly. No invasions, no expansion. We protect the Sol system and our colonies. But any step closer from them, her voice dropped cold and steady. We erase it. Silence fell. In the room, there was no applause. It's just understanding they didn't want war. But they had become the monsters that hunted monsters. Back on Arzalek, Vernak stood at the edge of his military base, looking up at the red skies. He had served the Empire for 60 years. He had fought insectoids, starvorms, and rebellious AI, but never had he felt such dread. From silence. The humans weren't yelling. They weren't threatening. They were simply present, and that was more terrifying than a fleet of screaming warships. He looked down at the coded message received just minutes ago. It was from the Empire's Central Command. Only one sentence. We are opening peace talks. Prepare a message to Earth. Vernak exhaled slowly. For the first time in his career, the Empire had accepted defeat. Not from battle, but from fear, from Earth, from humanity, and from the unspoken truth. Everyone now understood across the stars. The humans had hidden a 1,000,000-ship armada beneath the waves of their homeworld, and the galaxy would never see Earth. The same way again, the transmission echoed across every known system in the galaxy. It was not dramatic, no music, no threats. It's just a simple message from Earth, spoken in a calm human voice. Galactic powers are hereby advised. Earth and its territories are not open to negotiation, control, or intimidation. We seek peace, but we are prepared for total war. There were no banners, no flags, just that voice. And then a sudden, quiet shutdown of every human channel. No replies, no follow-up, just silence. But that silence was louder than any weapon. In the Empire's throne world of Talvaron Prime, Emperor Zelter stood frozen in his great chamber. The elite warlords and noble clans watched him, their faces tight with confusion and fear. He had just reviewed the data dump from their best intelligence units. There was no mistake. The humans weren't bluffing. Deep scans of the Sol system had confirmed massive underground infrastructure hidden beneath Earth's oceans, deserts, and polar regions. Thousands of ships. Tens of thousands. Built in secret. Hidden for decades. Some the size of cities. Others completely outside known starship classifications. Worse still, there were human AI warforms running simulated wars against every known galactic fleet and winning. The simulations had been leaked by unknown human sources, not to brag, but to warn. In the corner of the chamber, Grand Historian Velker whispered, "We didn't just provoke a species. We provoked something ancient, ... Something patient." He was right. Earth had remembered everything, every insult, every border raid, every colony that was starved, bombed, or left to die while the Council looked away. Every ambassador humiliated. Every treaty broken, and they had not shouted back. They had simply disappeared from view, and built now, in the dark outer rims of space. Fleets that no longer bore flags emerged one by one, human stealth cruisers, automated carriers, and ships. With no names, they didn't need to be near the front lines. They were already inside the heart of every empire. One such ship floated silently near the capital moon of the Zarketh Dominion. It had no energy readings. It didn't show up on sensors. It was a black shadow, colder than space, resting just above a major orbital station. The Zarketh sent a squadron to investigate. They approached slowly. Weapons armed, but there was nothing. No. Lights, no response. Then one by one, the Zarketh ships began losing power. Not from attack, from inside. Their systems failed. Lights flickered. Crews screamed. A voice came through the comms, low and unfeeling. "This is your only warning. Do not come closer." The ship vanished in seconds, warping out of space without a trace. It left no radiation, no trails, only fear. On Earth, inside a hidden command vault in the Himalayan core, High Admiral Delane sat alone. She stared at a display listing all recent galactic movements so far. Every empire was retreating. Messages had come in from 5 different species offering peace, alliances, technology, anything to avoid conflict. Earth replied to none. Not yet. Not until they were sure the message had sunk in. Nearby, a child's drawing was pinned on the wall. It showed Earth, surrounded by stars and smiling people. Delane smiled faintly at it. It had been drawn by a little girl from one of the colonies. The Empire had destroyed years ago. That child had survived, and now humanity had risen not as conquerors, but as guardians. Guardians who had learned the hard way that the galaxy only respected power. Now they had it, and they would never let it go again. In the depths of space, a final message auto-transmitted from Earth's AI core reached every major galactic communication hub. It read, Earth remembers, Earth waits, Earth watches. Cross the line again. And Earth will not need to speak twice. And just like that, stars felt smaller, the empires felt weaker, and every world, no matter how far, quietly marked Earth's position on their maps. In red,